Hello, Sujina. I just want to give you an update. This piece of plywood down here is actually a rotted piece of plywood that was up here. We have a new piece of plywood under here now taking the place of that one. And then up on top of this, okay, we have your new decks. Now, of course, they're glued down with 3M 5200. And so there's quite a bit of cleanup that has to be done. And of course, then sand, it will bung these holes. And that's part of the bunging of the holes, and the varnishing and so forth is part of the strip and refinish portion of this project. So all this is new. This was plywood originally up here. And now we've got solid wood up here. And we also raised this piece by putting new Philippine mahogany underneath. And then the end of it was rotted off. Let's see here, I'm trying to walk. The end of this was rotted off. And what we did, of course, we haven't got it fully shaped yet, but what we did right here where this end was rotted off, and then we replaced it. So with a pretty close match on the grain. But all of this, so all this decking is installed now. It's all glued down with 3M 5200. That gives it a waterproof layer that also keeps the deck seams. One of the things that happens on the boats that don't have a plywood layer under the decks is the planks will shrink and swell with humidity. And these planks will not be able to move because they are held in place with glue to the layer below. So all of the process of strip and refinish, that process is when we will get all the bungs done, all sanded off, and get all this cleaned up. All right, and we've started now on one of the next items. Looks like we've got a nice little wasp nest in there. Anyway, we're starting on the next items. And the next items were the replacement of the 3 planks. These 2 planks had had damage in the front. The matter of fact, had a couple of little bitty short planks up in front, and probably the damage came from this right here. Is there damage? There was damage to the front on both sides. Let's see if the other side plank is, if the plank on the other side is off yet. Let's see if I can show you. You probably remember, but no, it's already off. Here's probably one of them right here. So this plank was up in this area, and it was broken off. It had been cut off. So and this plank back here is supposed to come all the way up, and it had these little short planks up here, and that they probably got into this on your trailer. So we really ought to do, just to protect the very expensive strip and refinish you're going to have, we really ought to protect this with a different bow stop, which I think we showed you the style of bow stop. You don't have to decide on that now, but that would be the correct decision to make. And let's see, I don't have a bow stop that I want to show you in here right now. I think I've got some in the back area, storage area. But anyhow, so we're replacing, there was 3 planks we were going to do, and I think we figured out that there was going to be 6 instead of 3, and I think we updated we figured that out before we did the before we finalized our estimate. So I think the 6 planks are in the estimate, and the other 3 are right here. These two planks right here were shortened probably because of some rot underneath the stainless steel, and they put this piece in, which isn't altogether too bad. It's a nice fix. We call that a Dutchman because when my grandpa used to call me, well, that's what it's called in the industry, but I think when my grandpa would talk to me like a Dutch uncle, it was when he didn't think I was thrifty enough. So anyhow, so we're going to have to, we can replace those planks, or we can stick with that Dutchman. It's not a bad repair. Obviously sticking with the Dutchman is less money than if we have to change these two planks right here. All right, and then down here, these two planks were also shortened, and we've got a little bit of plywood, rotted plywood that we're gonna have to deal with right here. But that rotted plywood will be easy to deal with. This other stuff we'll really want to replace these two planks down here. Matter of fact, definitely want to do those two planks. Let me show you something else up here I just spotted. Hope all that movement of the camera doesn't make you sick. But anyway, so there's that Dutchman down here, which is not really done very well. And then we have this one right here. Somebody just cut a rotted section out right here. And so we will, when we replace this plank, we'll come up to the next frame station and make our joint up here and not have to replace this plank, because see, it's rotted on the end, and this one's rotted on both ends. So we'll replace this plank. We'll just shorten this one. All right. And then let's see, let me go to the other side. Now the other side, we don't really have the option of doing this on the other side. Now what we might do on the other side, we might do on this, and we'll try to make both sides the same. We might make this piece be larger and come up here, say 3 or 4 feet. That's a possibility. But I'll show you what's going on over here. And you know, there's a couple of schools of thought. One is preservation. So you can see what they did here. They did essentially the same thing, but this piece is much larger. That one was mainly back here. It peeked out from underneath where the stainless goes just a little bit, but this one was cut way back. And we could actually do the other side this way, and because this isn't altogether bad, it doesn't look terrible, but that is a Dutchman, and that is a repair. But that does save a lot of money versus replacing 2 more planks, 2 more full planks. So just want to get your opinion on what you'd like to do there. And then of course we're replacing 2 planks back here. You'll notice how this piece, this is an original piece of wood. This has a kind of a ribbon, you know, here's a ribbon, there's a ribbon. The grain is kind of in ribbons. This one is not in ribbons. And the one we took off up here is also not in ribbons. This grain is cathedral. If you notice this grain right here, it's like a window in a cathedral. So that's called cathedral grain. That was not sawn the same way that this wood was sawn. And we have, you know, just like the decks, this is the wood sawn the same way. The decks are sawn the same way as this, and that's ribbon stripe. And so these 2 planks are getting replaced because they're just not, well, this one had to get replaced because it wasn't cut well. And when we raised the decks, then we had to make this plank's going to have to be a half-inch taller than it was. So that plank's already getting replaced because of the modification we had to make to do the decks the way we wanted to do them with the wood. And then this one, there's just really the one plank here that needs to be changed. So that's where we're at, and we're starting that particular section of the work. So tell us if we need to slow down. We can, or tell us if you want us to speed up. But we're mainly working on the woodwork, and there's an engine in front of yours right now at the machine shop. So we've got some time to decide what we want to do. I will have the, I will update my estimate for the engine based on the fact that we're going to have to buy a transmission for it. And then, but I'm sure we can find a used transmission that's in good condition. The transmissions have very little wear. They're just a clutch. So they, for forward, and the reverse never hardly operates. So the reverse never wears out. So that's great. Because the reverse is the only thing that's got gears. And again, the forward is a clutch. So that's not a problem. So I'll revise that and make sure that we still want to rebuild instead of go for the new. I know we were on the fence about that at one time, and then we got off the fence when we saw what kind of savings we had by rebuilding, and we just need to double up on, are we going to have that good of savings or not? Okay, well, I just wanted to give you that update, and we'll talk to you soon.